Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where we are about to paint it. Just got to go down the final stretch here and finish prepping it. Last video did all the body work. Wasn't a whole lot, but more than expected. This quarter here had a previous dent, took all the old Bondo out, had a crease in it, had to fix that. This was old Bondo here. A couple little door dings, not too bad. And then this area here had to Bondo it up. Had to fix a few spots on the fiberglass hood. Well, just this edge was falling apart on the inside. Fix that. A couple little dents on this fender, and a couple little spots on the door where the paint had baked. See, this was originally clear, base clear, cleared, baked off. This is the base coat, and then it got to the rust, and then there was a little Bondo, and the rust cracked all the Bondo, so I had to redo a few spots there and there. Okay, I've already, on the body work on this side, I already primed it, blocked it, and reprimed it. And I've already started sanding with, well, that's actually 600 grit. I just now got some more 400 grit. So I usually final sand in 320, 400, except for the two doors. The two doors need to be blocked down and reprimed. The rest of it's, like I said, final prime. I've already sanded the hood, some wet and dry. See, I was out here yesterday and it was just spitting out, so I couldn't dry sand it. Couldn't strip the rest of this stuff because it would have been bare metal. While it was raining, would have started rusting. So I just stood out here in the rain while just spitting out, and it did it for like a couple hours. So I just out here just water sanding. Okay, so basically just got this back half to do. We're just gonna sand this down with 180 grit with the DA and smooth it all out. I started doing a little bit of it, some old Bondo here, but it's not cracked or nothing. We're just gonna leave it. Same with this deck lid, but we got a crack right here. We got to dig that out, put a little fiberglass in it, and then this spot here in the rubber bumper, we're going to put a little JB weld in there, and then this is like a big gouge. Put a little JB weld or something in there. A little bit of JB weld and then a little bit of Bondo to smooth it out perfect. Other than that, so after that's done, then we just prime these areas that are not primed, and it'll just have to be scuffed down the rest of the car and be ready to paint. It looks like it's going to rain, but I just looked at the radar and it's supposed to pass by and no rain, but it sure looks like it's gonna rain. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and sand this door, that door and fender, and reprime them, and then we'll work on this other part in case it rains. I don't want to leave too much bare areas in case it does just start pouring, but never know. Okay, so let me get that done. I'll show you a little bit of the sanding and priming and wet sanding, and hopefully in the next day or two we can get this into paint. I did take out the signal lenses and the grill. I sanded them, so we're going to put some clear on the marker signal lenses, and then we're going to flat black, well, matte black the grill. I cleared out everything here. We're gonna paint it right in here. Of course, we'll blow out all the dust. Got a late start today. I went out and bought some masking paper and some thinner and stuff I needed. So I should have everything I need because it's the weekend. Couldn't get that stuff tomorrow, I don't think. Sunday. Cleared out all this shit that was here. The lawnmower and 2 junk seats and stuff, they need to be in the shit pile, but I don't feel like carrying them. Carrying them to the other side of the property. So we can back it out here and drive it in the shop, especially if it rains. But I'd rather work outside. It was humid as hell yesterday till it started raining. Really humid, like Florida humid, where you would be just standing there and you just start sweating. So I couldn't get a lot done yesterday. That's why I kind of worked in the rain, because it felt good. Today's not too bad, but in a shop with no breeze, wind, it's pretty tough. It's summer, guys. It's friggin', 90 degrees every day. But at least it's not in the hundreds. Okay, I stripped this front end also. That's all ready to prime. Last time I put a little bit of primer on that front because I didn't have the rest of it sanded. But all this front's all sanded. Just needs a coat of primer. Pretty much the same with this back end. I have to go through hand sand a few little areas. But other than that, it's pretty much ready to prime, other than a little bit of body work. So it ain't gonna take much, guys. Okay, well, let me get going on it and I'll be back. Okay, guys, I just got some 180 grit on a block and we're just blocking it down. Last episode I went over with the guide coat on some Bondo areas, but we're not going to use the Bondo or the guide coat on this. Just keep a good eye out. Okay, I'm just going to do this on both doors. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I got this door and this fender blocked down with 180. And this door here blocked down with 180. So I'm just gonna prime them areas. That way I can unmask it and start sanding the rest of it and getting that ready to prime. It still looks like it's gonna rain, but it hasn't yet. But I'll be back. Okay, guys. Started spitting out a little bit. Anyway, I got all them areas primed. I'm gonna go ahead and prime this front end. Since I had a little bit of primer left over. Gonna have to put a little Bondo or something on the very bottom of this spoiler. You can see all the, from it being a lowrider, been scraping. Put a little something on there. I don't have any rubber epoxy repair stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna finish that. Yeah, I got this door and fender primed. I said we're gonna start sanding all this, but I don't know if the rain will hold up. Then I primed all this area here. So yeah, we just got the maroon that's showing, and have to do a little fine sanding around these edges here. Here's all paint and stuff peeling, a little bit of rust. Take a lot of little hand sanding in all the edges. And we're gonna, well, this is gonna be painted black, but they all do this on these Camaros, this back there rusts. So, you know, I'll be a couple hours just doing all that little stuff. But yeah, we'll take the DA sander, sand all this while it's outside. Man, if I go in the shop, no wind, it's humid. But we got wind and tornado warnings around me, but just been really, really lucky. There's been hailstorms and tornadoes and everything all around here, but I haven't been hit yet. Anyway, let me get my DA sander and we'll start sanding this back. Okay, I'm gonna work outside till it rains. Okay, I just got 180. I don't know, I don't think we'll need 80 grit, but build this back here. Yeah, 180 is good enough. It's sanding real easy. Yeah, it's sanding right off. I gotta put a little tape around that so I don't scratch the glass. But yeah, the 180 sanding right out and sanding it right out. So this way with just 180, I can put a couple coats of primer, scuff it with 400, 320 grit, and it's ready to paint. If I did 80 grit, and even if I went over it with 180, I'd probably have to sand the primer and reprime it like I did the like I just did the doors. Okay, so I think all this will sand the same way, and that way once I prime it, then that's it, unless I come across any, you know, little spots like this little spot here. I'm fixing to fix that little crack there and that little I showed you on the bumper. Other than that, she's going pretty good. I think the only holdup I'm going to have is waiting for this primer to dry. You know, it's two-part epoxy primers, or not epoxy, but urethane primer, 2K. So that's okay. It's getting late now, but I'm not going to be painting it. But this is the primer I'm using. I said it on the last video. Speed Coat. Got it off of eBay. We'll go over the paint here in a little while before I paint it. But yeah, here's the front, and that just needs to be sanded down with 400 grit, and that'll be ready to paint too. So I think it'll go pretty quick. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, it was started. It's raining just a little bit, just enough to cover it. Anyway, I got it all DA'd down with 180. We can see the old Bondo showing up after 30 odd years. I might have to rework this because there's some little cracks in it. I think I should grind them out and redo it, and basically just go over all the edges like I said by hand, and just get it all ready to prime. Yeah, there's a few layers of red on here. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be back. Okay guys, next day. I've been working on it off and on all day. It's 95 and sunny and hot. So I fixed these little areas with JB weld, and then just a little skim of Bondo to smooth in the little imperfections, which is okay. You don't want to fix anything with Bondo on plastic, but You can just fill in little stuff. There was a couple little stress crack here I ground out, put a little Bondo in. A couple little spots here too, and a couple little spots here. Other than that, she's ready to mask up and prime this whole back area. Just spent a lot of time sanding all the little edges, stuff like that. Later on, I'm gonna, these rusty back window frame, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some Pour 15 with a brush and coat that. And there was a few other spots too I wanted to do. And then once that dries, I'm gonna put some flat black on it, because that Pour 15 I got is gloss. Oh, this there area right here, it's a little bit rusty here, not rusted through, it was just the paint was flaking, so I kind of scraped it off. So put a little Pour 15 there. But yeah, she's pretty much ready to prime, and then scuff it down and paint it. Rest of it's ready to paint. While this primer's drying here, then I'll be sanding the rest of it. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, got her in primer. So all this needs to be is sanded with 400 grit, and then we'll paint it. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow, see if we can get it sanded, masked, and painted. Okay guys, it's been a couple days. It's the other day it was like 97 record, hot as hell. I even pulled it inside and was trying to sand it. As you can see, it's like halfway through the day and the sun just goes halfway in. It's really hard, sweating my balls off. Anyway, the next day, it friggin' rained. Spitting out all day, couldn't do much. Then got it in the garage there at night to start some work on it. And these little gnat looking friggin' bugs, I was gonna record it. They're all over the place. It's that season. I think they last for a couple of weeks. They're all over the light, all in my hair, just everywhere. But that was last night. So I got it all sanded down. Just went over it with 400 dry paper. Got it all sanded down, all the edges, all the little stuff. Scraped off the stuff from the windows a little bit. So then today, gonna get a good start on it, so now I can't paint at night or as soon as it gets dark because all these bugs. So I have to wash it, then let it dry, then mask it, then paint it. So I don't think I could have got that. Well, I might have been able to get that done in one day, but it was raining all day today too, spitting out, well, half the day. So I'm just getting out here now. It looks beautiful now. Perfect, 77 instead of 97. But by the time I get it washed, dried, masked up, ready to paint, it's gonna start getting dark and then bugs are gonna come out. So now it's gonna have to be tomorrow morning before I paint it. So anyway, I got a pressure washer here, and I don't think I've ever washed this car. So what we want to do is get all the little edges. See, like that mirror there? All areas like that. I'm not taking out the tail lights, but I bet the tail lights are full of, he's like going out the back, but underneath these spoilers. There's just going to be all kinds of dirt and stuff. It was all ground in the windows from sitting around for 20 years. Anyway, I'm going to go over it really good, and then I'm going to take I just bought some new sponges, and we're going to wash it down with soap. That takes out any, it's like doing wax and grease remover. It takes out any grease or smudge marks. Going to do all underneath the hood. Open the doors and kind of spray the jambs a little bit. And after you get that done, what you want to do is wipe all with a rag or paper towel. Wipe all the door jambs underneath the trunk, underneath the hood edges and all that. Wipe that down, and then mask it up. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing. And I'll come back and we'll get it in the, and then what I'll do, let it dry out here for an hour or two. It should dry pretty quick. Then I'll bring it in here and mask it, and then probably wait till tomorrow morning and paint it. So I'll be back. Okay guys, I got her all washed up, sitting over here. Just cleaning up like the primer from the door jambs, overspray, stuff like that, wiping down the door jambs so they don't drip water onto the rocker and stuff. I'm thinking about painting. See, I'm gonna have to paint this black, flat black. Although that needs to be sanded. I probably should have done that because I sanded this. So I wanted to paint this, flat black around here. I noticed these tail lights, checkerboard. You can see the black here. Well, it's all faded right there. And take a little brush and paint that. No big deal. And then just going to paint all this. I need to put a little bit of Bondo there. Paint all this flat black. And paint the grill flat black. Thinking about doing that tonight because I'll show you when it happens. All these little gnats and bugs will be flying around here, and it'll be no good for to paint it tonight. I'm gonna paint it first. Paint the red first thing in the morning, or it's only gonna be 82 or something tomorrow, so it shouldn't be too bad. Get it painted before noon. Put it that way. Okay, so that's all the little stuff, and then vacuum it out. So I may do that tonight and then paint it in the morning. Okay, let's go over the paint, because that's what the video is all about. Bought this kit off eBay, 135 bucks. Okay. It had a couple more sticks. I used some already. You got a reducer, hardener, some strainers. And then I ordered Viper Red. They had, what brand is this? Clark's Wholesale Paints. They're at Oklahoma City and Tulsa. It's acrylic enamel. I haven't used these before. There's a whole bunch of sellers on eBay selling this acrylic enamel. Not the same brand, but anyway, I haven't used this before, this brand, so we'll try it out. Does it say? Some of them usually say gloss, wet look hardener. Some of them will say high gloss or something. Not exactly sure what Viper Red is. You know, you see it on online picture, but you don't know until you open it up. I'll open it up here in a minute. Okay, so it's 135 bucks for everything, which is pretty damn good considering paint prices today. Now this is a single stage, so yeah, it says it right there, single stage, so you don't have to clear it, but you can clear it if you want. It's not going to react or nothing like that. You could use this as a base coat, or mix in some clear at the end, last coat, integrated clear coat, you would call it, half paint, half clear, paint it, shine it, might shine it up a little bit better, might make it last a little longer, depending on what type of clear you use. Or just put 2 or 3 coats of clear on it, or you could paint it with this and then wait a couple weeks, sand it down, and then clear it, which is a longer process, but it would keep it from getting trash in it. Trying to paint 3 or 4 coats of this, then 3 coats of clear, the time for bugs and dust and everything to settle into it grows a lot. Whereas if you just painted the paint, waited 2 weeks, sand it down, you could sand all that out and just put a couple coats of clear. Which we probably won't use clear, but I got a gallon. This stuff's still pretty reasonable, 100 and something bucks. But my go-to paint for years and years was this Nason 2K urethane single stage, and this stuff will last forever, shine forever. But it's more than doubled in price. I think it's 185 bucks just for a gallon of it now, of just black, plain color. You get up into metallics, it's a lot. And then it doesn't include hard juice or anything, so you're looking at, you know, 250, 300 bucks compared to 135. Lately, Avalanche, I used this type of paint from Summit. It wasn't too bad, but it's a little bit more pricey, 171 or something. So we're just going cheap, guys. Cheap, cheap, cheap. If you want to spend more, you can. There's no doubt. I know that red in that Nason used to be about double what that black one, what black is. So if you wanted to get, and they got their own red, candy red it's called, and it's really nice. I used a lot of it back in the day, and it was like 60 bucks a gallon back, say in the 90s, but nowadays it's probably 300, probably something like that. But you can look for that if you want. eBay, not a lot of it on there, but there are some sellers. So we're just going cheap all the way on this, because I'll probably sell it. I can always clear it later. I can always repaint it later. But, you know, I hope it lasts a few years anyway. Then we're going to stripe it up and decal it and all that stuff. So this is the little compressor I use. It's good enough to paint a car with. 20 gallon. There's the stats if anybody needs it. That's all you need. It'll keep up. You don't need one of them giant air compressors unless you got a 5-guy shop and everybody's using air at the same time. If it's just you and your garage, that's all you need. Just a little Harbor Freight cheapie. Okay, so don't fall for the spray cans. I know it's a big in thing. Tons of people make videos. Oh, spray paint your car. Oh, look how great it looks. Don't do it. Unless you just got a complete junk car that you're gonna, I don't know. By the time you buy 12, 15 cans of spray paint, whatever it costs to take to paint a car, you're gonna be spending over that, over 135. So it's not no cheaper. And there's no hardener in spray cans. You get a spray can, there's none of this hardener in there. So it never actually hardens. It'll feel hard to the touch, but you can never paint over it. You go to paint over it with, say, this type of paint, it'll all wrinkle. Okay? So it is completely ruined. You got to take that stuff all the way off. That spray can, if you ever want to repaint it properly later on down the road, you're gonna have to strip it all down, And it's a very long, tedious process of getting all that crap off. You're basically ruining the paint that you've painted over top of, and you're gonna have to strip her down the metal, start over. So it's completely not what you want to do, okay? So like I said, it's not no cheaper. So anyway, this is the way we're going on this. It's proper car paint, acrylic enamel. If, you know, later on down the road, all you got to do is scuff this down and paint over top if you want to change colors or paint it again or whatever. Okay, we hope it's good. I've tried, I don't know, there's another brand right there. I think that was made in Texas or something. A black that we used on the El Camino. We've used some of the Summit White I've used on the Avalanche. And yeah, Avalanche and the other white El Camino. The orange one, I can't remember the brand of that. The Hugger Orange used on the 72 Nova. So I've used it a bunch. But anyway, okay guys. So I guess that's about it. I'll come back when I have this masked up, ready to go. Basically, just got to mask it up. Use a tack rag. I probably should get another one. This one's probably shot. That tack rag, just wipe it off, the last little bit of dust or whatever on it, and then just shoot it. So I'll be back. Okay, forgot. Well, I opened up the lid. Okay, these are just pre-mixed reds, okay, that you buy. What I say, this is called Victory Red, and there's Viper, or that was this Viper Red. I already forgot. This is called Viper Red. You got Viper Red, you got Victory Red, a bunch of common red colors. I'm not sure, you know, they might be common for GM or Ford or whatever. I can't remember. So, you know, to me, red, that's all I need. Not trying to get the I could look up the paint code on that and get the exact paint code for whatever. It could be Victory Red or Viper Red or something like that. But if it isn't, and nobody sells the pre-mixed, and you want that exact color, and you want a paint store to mix it for you, you can probably double the price, not double the price, but you can add $100 or so for them to mix a little bit of this and a little bit of that in there and mix up your exact color. So I wouldn't recommend that, because that's where you get into the expensive part of it. You know, this red's just good enough. It's good enough. So it's like Hugger Orange. They'll make a Hugger Orange, and I forget when I bought that Hugger Orange, there was another common one, Performance Orange or something. They'll make a couple of common yellows or oranges like that. But like I said, if you got some oddball orange and you want it perfectly mixed, well, they're not going to sell it, for one thing. And I don't know if these companies will mix it for you. You have to go down to your local paint store, pay 3 times as much for the paint, and then another 100 or 2 for them to mix up the color. So you're defeating the purpose of a cheap paint job. That's why they sell these cheap, because it's already pre-mixed. They don't have to dick around and mix up stuff. They just pick the most common colors of reds, oranges, and stuff like that. Yellow, you know, Corvette yellow and sunburst yellow and all that. Okay, so just keep that in mind, guys. You can't just go on eBay and get your exact color. Okay, so that's the color. It is red. One time, years ago, I bought a gallon of the Nissan red. What was it called? Cherry? They have a name for it, for their common red too. Candy red. Got the candy red, and and I had a little bit of, sorry, it's a little ramble story, just purpose of opening this up. I had a little bit of red in another can, because I had painted a few cars red. So I get the car, mask it all up, ready to paint. I used that little, I don't know, quart, maybe half a quart of red paint that I already had. Mixed that, and then I dumped my hardener in that I was going to use for a full gallon. Well, usually I would use half to 3/4 of a gallon. That's all we'll be using on that. We'll have a bunch left over, especially since this is T-top. Well, we're not going to use all of it. So I dumped in a quart of hardener that I was going to use for the full gallon, bunch of reducer, then mixed up that, and then I opened the can up. I opened it up, and it was gray metallic. Now, keep in mind, this is probably midnight. It's not like I could run to the paint store and get another can. And it was gray metallic. And I was like, what the? And so that little bit of red and all my $30 hardener and all that was all wasted. So I went back to the paint store the next day and I said, what the hell is this? You know, it's supposed to be candy red, and I open it up and it's gray. Oh, so anyway, I said, y'all made me waste about $50 worth of material. Well, how was that? So I explained what I. So anyway, always open it up, guys. Make sure it's not a different color in there. Okay, so let me come back. Okay, guys, it's time. Got it all masked up. Fixed a bunch of little, well, couple little chips type things, and I think we're ready to go. Just need to wipe it off with the tack rag and start spraying. So just gonna mix up about half of it, and then if I need any more at the end, I can mix up just a little. But you don't want to mix up the whole gallon with hardener and everything, because whatever you don't use is going to be wasted. Okay, I'm going to use the cheap Harbor Freight $10 gun. They were on, I think, what are they usually? $14.99. They're on sale a few months ago for $9.99. So I picked up 4 of them. Still got one good one left. And yeah, this one's still okay. It just needs to be cleaned. I'll probably clean it a little bit, use it for primer. But anyway, this is a brand new gun here. Just put some thinner in it. Sprayed it out. Seems to spray pretty good. What I'll do is I'll set you up on the GoPro camera up here, and I'll show you me doing the first coat maybe. Can't do the whole car. It'll take a couple hours in between. It's getting kind of hot out. It shouldn't be that long in between coats. Probably 10-20 minutes in between coats. We're going to probably put on 3 coats depending on the coverage. I probably got enough for 4 easy, but we'd like to do about 3, save a quart or so for maybe doing the jams later, something like that. You'll see me here. I'm going to spray the pattern, get the pattern from the gun, just it one way, and it'll go in a circle. Then you want to spread that out to the perfect point where it doesn't. So it's going to be a pattern about that big, and we'll paint, overlap all the way down this. We'll start usually start at the front hood. We'll do half the hood, this fender, go over the other side, do the other half of the hood, that fender, the front, come back over here, do just part of the roof, this door, over the other side, do that, come back over this side, do half this roof, quarter panel, that side, half the roof, quarter panel, and then the whole back. Okay, so I'll set you up on the GoPro, and I think this time I'll try to keep the because all you'll hear is a compressor, and a lot of people say it's pretty irritating. So I either mute the volume or put some music in it when I edit it, and or lower the volume, one of the three, so it's not a okay. So when I come back, I'll have the GoPro set up over here and you can see me paint. Okay guys, there it is. I did 3 coats, no waiting. It was drying pretty quick. So last coat I put in a little bit of clear, not half and half, maybe about 1/3 clear to 2/3 paint for the last coat, just to get it to flow a little bit better, and thinned it out with reducer to keep it shiny. But yeah, it's a little bit dull, but outside in the sun it'll look great and it will buff out. So these acrylic enamel, you can sand and buff it, but yeah, it's already, well, it's been about an hour or so, but it's dry to the touch. I could probably, I think that was probably fast drying reducer too. I don't know what I got for, I got some other reducer here. It says mid-temp. Mid-temp, and what was, does this say? That says mid-dry, medium drying too. Yeah, it's just hot. A lot hotter in here than it is outside. So yeah, I could thin down some clear and give it another wet coat, make it a little bit shinier, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I think it'll look alright. Like I said, if somebody wanted to buff it, wax it, it'll look a whole lot better. But she's all red. Got a little bit of trash, a little bit of bugs on it. But who knows, maybe if I keep it in the future, we'll do a buff job on it. I think that was a bug there. But overall, pretty good. Okay, I think we'll leave this video at that. And we'll have one more video on this. We'll get some black painted on it, like I said before. We'll get the emblems on it, the IROC-Z decals, the pinstripe black and gold along the bottom. A few other things. We'll go over it, how much I got into it, what more does it need, what I'm gonna do with it. I'll probably just keep it. Test drive. We'll put her all back together and bring it for a test rip. Pretty sure it'll be all right. So yeah, I got about a quart of paint or so left, and enough to do the jams. About to see how the jams look, how different that maroon is to this red, and for a little touch-up stuff. So anyway, I got some paint if I got to do a little bit more spraying somewhere. So anyway, guys, I think that's about it. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, share, all that stuff. And we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.